I am so excited to be doing our live weekly office hours again. I know I took a few weeks off, but some awesome things were going on. I hosted one of the largest real estate meetups ever with my mentor Pace Morby and a ton of other sub two leaders in Southern California. We had like almost 2,000 people there. It was such an epic event. It was just such an exciting time to be able to help people out. And on top of that, what do we do then? I hosted my free 3-day co-living challenge. So if you missed out on that, don't worry. You can still get access to it by heading to the Real Estate Freedom Roadmap community. That is my free real estate investment community. And then after that, I was at one of the biggest ever, largest real estate events ever, amazing time, whatever. And if you're in the sub two family, you understand it's more of a family reunion. There's tons of education, tons of, speakers and all that, but it's really about collaborating, connecting with each other, doing tons of deals together. I had the ability and the opportunity to meet hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 people that I've worked with over the last 5 years. People who have helped get their first deal, helped them make tens of thousands of dollars, people who have bought deals from, people who have, one guy literally said, hey, you don't even know this, but you helped me cross the finish line on my first deal. He didn't make a ton of money because it wasn't the best deal, but I still made sure to pay him on that because he was willing to just learn. So now you're going to get your money. Now, a few years later, my man is buying an incredible RV park. So it's all about getting in the game and taking the next step, getting to the next level, and going to an event like Squad Up Summit, like I just came back from with my mentor, Pace Morby. I was able to connect with so many people. We did over 6 hours of literally 6 hours of Q&A. I answered everything and anything under the sun in regards to, I want to find that paper, every single thing people were asking me about co-living. It was bucketed into just so much freestyle stuff. I want to take most of it and turn it into some form of content for you guys. So those of you who weren't there could benefit from it. Wow, we did literally like 6 pages of, it was so hard for me to keep up with all the questions. I had to write them down to answer them. That's why I love to do these live weekly office hours with you guys and answer any questions you have. But just as importantly, that's why I spend so much of my time and energy creating all these free tools and resources. I create videos that are never going to go viral because they're more dense. They're not here to be exciting and a bunch of clips and whatever. It's here to provide you guys as much value as possible, because all that really matters is that you progress up the real estate freedom roadmap. If you are starting off as someone who needs to focus on active income, you're not making enough money to cover your expenses, or maybe making enough, you're not covering enough to save a decent amount, you need to focus on active income. How do you do that? I recommend that you focus on bird dogging. Why? Because you're coming to me because you want to be a real estate investor. You want to buy and hold properties that provide you cash flow, right? That provide you cash flow, passive income, semi-passive income. Don't let anyone tell you real estate investing is full passive income, but semi-passive income, you have enough of that, you never have to work again. But you need the active income to have savings before you can start. Whether you want to raise capital or whatever, you should be financially fit first and foremost. Once again, enough active income coming through your job or through bird dogging to be able to cover all your expenses so you're not going into debt. And then on top of that, you are saving, and even better, investing some of that money to fast track your results. That's why I provide all of that stuff for free. I don't want you guys to get into debt, spend money, whatever, on learning how to do that stuff. I know other people charge you $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 plus for that same level of education, maybe even worse. I give it to you guys for free because I want to help you guys out. 95% of you need to focus on this. Some of you for the money, some of you guys for the initial skills. Why is bird dogging better than wholesaling, right? This was a question I was asked all the time. Why is it better than wholesaling, in my opinion? As someone who has bird dogged in wholesale, and the reason why I started essentially with bird dogging was because it not only gets you paid, but it is the least amount of risk. The only thing that you are risking when you are bird dogging, for anyone who doesn't know, you are finding deals, right? You're finding buyers and understanding their buy box. What do they want to buy? And then you're going to find deals that make sense for them. If they buy those deals, you get paid. Why is that so great? Well, it costs you no money to do any of that. When you're wholesaling, you're starting with the sellers. You're starting with CRM, pulling lists, skip tracing, sending out texts, sending out emails, doing calls, paying VAs, getting all this stuff. It wastes so much time, money, and energy. that then doesn't translate into your real goal, which is buying and holding real estate. In theory, you can make more money as a wholesaler. However, the skills don't translate to buying and holding real estate, and you have to spend so much money to even make some money. If someone is in a position where they don't have a lot of money, why risk any money that you actually need? That's always my mentality. I don't like to put in a bunch of money that I haven't already earned. I know people that are paying for course after course after course. I'm like, bro, you paid for the thing, learn it, do it, then pay for the next thing, unless you just completely paid for the complete wrong thing, which people do too, because the marketing by others is so good. All right, let's get back to the point. If you know me, I go in circles sometimes. That's why the free courses and all that I provide are better, because they're just very straightforward, step by step. Here's your end goal, right? Here's where you're at. How do you get A, B, C, D, E, F, G? I'm very good at that when I can outline and I can provide that to you guys, which I do in the free courses, tools, and resources. That is a lot easier for me than just freestyling like this, as you can imagine. I can talk all day, every day about this stuff because I'm so passionate about it. And more importantly, passionate about helping you all. That's why I do these Q&As where most investors are not willing to. I'm not going to say why or why not. I just know I have the technical chops to be able to solve pretty much every problem that you guys have, and or guide you to the right person or resource that can. If I don't know something, I'd rather have you go to the person that does, guide you to that, rather than try to tell you something that I don't know. But I know a lot. That's why I'm open to doing these conversations with you guys and answering any questions that y'all have. So why bird dogging? Less risk to make money, but more importantly, developing the skill. If you're going to work with a buyer that already owns the types of deals that you want, right? If you want to do co-living in Georgia, work with a buyer that is successfully doing co-living deals in Georgia. You make money and you learn from that person how to find those deals. At any point you decide, hey, now that I've got more experience, I'm going to be the one to buy these deals. If you brought this deal to a serious buyer and they're willing to pay you more than you would have to pay for it because you did all that work for them, that means that's a great deal. You found a great deal. You developed the skill. After 2, 3, 4, whatever of those, then you decide, hey, I want to be the buyer of these deals. Great. Now either fund it yourself if you have the savings, or raise the money for those deals, but you've already developed the skill while earning the money at the same time. Does that make sense? It's not just about the money, right? The money and the profit. Let's say a wholesaler makes $10,000. They lost $5,000 of that because of expenses. A bird dog makes $2,000, right? So you might make less, but it's all profit. You don't have to spend a bunch of time, money, and energy, lower risk as well. But more importantly, you profit, you learn with less risk. And more importantly, you're learning so you can go find and buy those deals for yourself, because you've already proven you can with serious buyers. Does that make sense why I advocate for bird dogging? Because the majority of you, I assume, some of you guys are wealthy, came from rich families, won the lottery, I don't know, whatever. That wasn't my upbringing. I come from poverty. So I couldn't make a mistake early in my investing journey. I couldn't buy the wrong deal and recover from that. I couldn't spend a bunch of money trying to wholesale and waste it all, not just time, but tens of thousands of dollars, and have to recover from that. So I always did things as lean as possible that helped me develop the skills and get the experience and get paid without doing a lot of unnecessary risk. That's a huge advantage. Bird dogging allows you to do that. Why do I mention that? Because all that stuff is for free for you guys in my free Real Estate Freedom Roadmap community, right? So I'm going to drop the link right now for you guys, but that is free for you guys, because I think if you don't have the money, don't let the marketing, don't let the urgency, don't let the pressure, don't let the FOMO trick you into getting into debt for education. Instead, do the education, make some money, and then invest in education do the free stuff, make some money without getting into debt, develop some skills, and then take it to the next level if and when you're at the right point. Does that make sense? Don't spend money you don't have to get into stuff that you really don't need, or it's going to put a lot of financial pressure on you guys. Please, please. I mean, unless you're wealthy and you can do whatever the hell you want, don't listen to me. But I'm telling you, if you're not wealthy or you don't come from money, don't take unnecessary risks. Investing is already inherently risky. In your 20s, like I was, it's safer time to take risk. If you have an active income, you have a good job, it's okay to take a little bit more risk. But if you have a family, if you have obligations, if you are not making a surplus of funds or saving a lot of it, don't take unnecessary risk. Do the things that help you develop skills, make money without spending any money to do so. That's why I give it all away for free in the Real Estate Freedom Roadmap community. Showing the link here, school.com/RE-freedom, right? But it's the Real Estate Freedom Roadmap community, because the first thing is active income. Well, the next thing is, once you have enough active income, right, you're covering all your expenses, then you have savings. With that savings, you have a pivotal decision. right? You have to invest that to actually be able to achieve the goals that you want within a reasonable time frame. You cannot save your way to financial freedom. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to A, actively invest like I do, or B, passively invest like a lot of my partners do? All right. So passive investing. Someone has money. I have deals and operations. They bring the money. I bring them a great investment opportunity. We co-own those assets together, right? That's passive investing. You get some of the rewards for bringing the money. Some of people are doing it to learn and get experience, while most of them are doing it to get the returns without having to do all of the work, right? If that is something that makes sense to you, I got a form for that. Let's have a conversation and see if we're the right fit. If you have the money and you either want to get more experience, get co-ownership, or get the results without a lot of the work, and you're good at making money and saving it and you want to invest in these assets, fill out the form and be a partner with me. Either get fixed interest rate return on your money or co-own assets with me. Whatever you want to do, that's what we'll have a discussion for. That's if you have savings and you want to passively invest. Well, a lot of you guys who are watching this are not watching this because you have a surplus of funds that you want to passively invest. Some of you are, especially those of you who are doing it to then develop the skills and the knowledge and all the education, all that comes with it, to then be able to actively invest. But a lot of you guys are trying to just skip the line and go straight to active investing. Great. That's what I did. And I started that with my very first property, which was a house hack. I bought a 2-unit property. My wife and I lived in one side and rented out the other. That was the easiest, lowest risk way to do so. Low down payment, interlocal market, all that good stuff. Well, that's not very scalable or applicable to most. So active investing goes into a lot of realms. Active investing, and let me show you an image. I'm going to pull something up for you guys. Hey, can you guys do me a favor? Drop some questions in here that you have, because I'm only going to talk for another 10 minutes, and then I want to share some. I want to answer questions and share an update for an amazing thing that's coming out. We're going to do another call later today that I want to share with you guys, because it's going to be one of the best calls we've ever done. Let's see. So drop some questions here, guys. These are for you. I met a lot of you guys in person. We had a great time at Squad Up, before, during the meetups that I held during the events. But let me know, what questions do you guys have? Where are you stuck in your investing journey that I can try to help you? All right, well, there we go. No questions. Love it. Okay, so let me do this and take a little screenshot of this bad boy. I'm going to put one more slide there. And then I'm going to do, oh, there we go. Placing deals under contract for Bird Dog Hosting. Beautiful question. Who is Tower of Consciousness? I don't know who you are. That's a pretty epic name. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, Alexander, another great question. Actually tees up beautifully into what I'm going to get into. This is why I recommend you watch the courses a lot of the times, because it's all free and all that information is already there. And I pretty much have already answered most of your questions. How do I know that? Because the courses are the things that I wish I knew when I was starting out, or the questions you guys are asking. I can only help individual people one at a time. That's only one person at a time. Well, that's why I create the course. So then even if it's 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, we have 2,000 plus in there now, taking advantage of all those tools and resources. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, you're messing up your own journey. It doesn't make a difference to me. You're messing up your own opportunity to get free education tools and resources that other people are typically not willing to provide you. So let me add this in here. I'm going to show you guys an image that is one of my favorite things that I created. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. All right. So, and I'm going to get to answering these questions right afterwards, but, oh, I got a screen share. That's fine. So real estate investing at the end of the day is super simple. Super simple. It's not easy to do, but it's very simple. If you think about it, you need deals, you need money to fund those deals, and you need to operate them successfully. All you really need to own a property is a deal to buy and the money to buy it. You do those 2 things, you own real estate. Does that mean you're a successful real estate investor? Not necessarily. That's where operations come into place, because operations tee into before you buy a property as well as after you buy a property. Operations are, hey, is this a good deal? Am I getting the right deals Am I analyzing them effectively? Does this stuff make sense? Am I buying a good deal? And the money is, am I raising the right amount of money the right way for this type of acquisition? Once you close on it, right? Let's say you close on the deal, you make nothing. You make nothing and you're at the highest risk after closing on a deal. Why? Because now it's the make or break. Just because you own a property, you're worse owning a property than you are not owning a property if your operations are not right. What does that mean? Well, if you need to renovate the project and you're not doing so quickly, in a timely fashion, within budget, within timeline, that's messing up your operations. That's leading you to a potential risk of losing it. If you are not then, let's say for co-living, furnishing that property the right way with the right furnishings, if you're not then taking the right photos and the right, setting up the right listings and managing it effectively, you don't actually have anything. You might temporarily have a deal that you bought using money, whether it's your own or someone else's, but unless you successfully operate, you're not a real estate investor. Why? It's one thing to own real estate. It's another thing to be a real estate investor. Real estate investor is someone who clearly understands that the most important thing is successfully operating properties. If you are not generating the income that you were expecting, right? If you're not generating the income that you were expecting to cover all your expenses and to generate cash flow, right? It's just your cash flow. If you're not cash flowing, which means you're not generating enough money to cover expenses, right? That means you have to pay out of pocket to cover expenses. If you're losing money each month, you can only sustain a property for so long. So if you cannot generate enough income that exceeds your expenses, you're not cash flowing. Not only can you not pay the bills, but you're also not cash flowing. And that's the whole point of investing in real estate, to generate cash flow, stack enough of that, and become financially free. That's the whole business model. Buy real estate that generates you more money each month than you spend every single month. You stack enough of that cash flow, that's how you become financially free. Well, if you can't cash flow, which means you cannot cover your expenses, you're going to go into further and further into debt, into arrears, not paying your stuff. You're going to lose all that. So not only do you not have cash flow, then you're not also building wealth through real estate, right? So you need the deals and the deal. You need to have a deal. You need the money to buy the deal. Now you own real estate. But to be a successful real estate investor, you have to operate it successfully. Buy the right deals, use the right money the right way, and then operate it successfully. Get it to generate you more money each month than you are spending. You do that, you get your cash flow, you live off that, you're financially free. You do that over time, you're building wealth through debt pay down, appreciation, tax benefits, cash flow, all that stuff. But unless you successfully operate, then none of that happens. All you do is own properties that you eventually lose to foreclosure because you didn't successfully operate. Why do I say that? Like, why am I saying the worst case scenario? Once again, poverty mindset. I come from a place where I could not make an inherent risk. This was fundamental for me, and this stopped me from buying my first ever deal for like 18 months because I was so worried about how this was going to work. And if I messed up, how would that impact my finances? Because I had no safety net. Like a lot of you guys, you may not have a safety net. You might make decent income, but you can't make one catastrophic real estate investment mistake and survive that. Some of you guys make so much income, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's not ideal to mismanage $150,000, but it's not the end of the world. You can recover. Most of you, like myself, could not have recovered from that. I'm in a different place now, but most of you at that point, at your point in your investing journey, like I was a couple of years ago, cannot recover from a bad investment. That's why it's so imperative that you understand how to get the right deals, how to analyze them effectively, how to use the right money to acquire them, and how to operate them, most importantly, successfully. It's better to buy no real estate than the wrong real estate. Does that mean sometimes you will be a little bit off in your analysis? Of course. But you want to stack all the cards in your favor that you're as successful as possible when it comes to acquiring your deals. That's why I spend so much time and energy and provide you guys all these free tools and resources to help you out. Yes, I have the Co-Living Freedom Community. I charge $197 a month, right? $197 a month for something that people charge $5, $10, $20, up to $50,000 for. They provide you less education, less tools and resources, less life support calls. Why do I do that? Because I think that's crazy that people charge that much for co-living education. So I'm making it really accessible to you all as much as possible. And yes, I have my Super Investors community, a mastermind small group community designed to help existing investors or those with a solid amount of money make the most of it, achieve their financial freedom as quickly as possible, which comes from capital raising, as well as combining it with great creative deals, great co-living deals, and all of these operations. I'm able to give you guys so much for free. For example, all the deals. This is why I talk about bird dogging. Your job is to develop this skill set of finding great deals that someone who's a serious buyer is willing to pay for. Everyone who is in my position, who is successfully buying real estate, has deals, has money. You combine the two, you own an asset, and they operate successfully to get their returns. Does that make sense? Well, if you are starting out, what better way to get paid than to learn how to find great deals that other people are willing to pay you for, right? Willing to pay you for as a bird dog until you decide, you know what? I got the deals. I've saved some money and or I'm going to raise money. Now I'm going to own these properties. That makes sense? Everything I try to educate you guys on, especially for free, is to help you not only make money with less risk, but to help you develop one of these two, primarily the deal side of things, so that you can translate that into owning real estate, because you're part of the real estate freedom roadmap, right? My free stuff, because your goal isn't to get stuck at active income, or even worse, never even develop any active income that exceeds your expenses. Your goal at first is to develop the skills and the savings and make active income to cover your expenses, not get into debt, then have savings and have the skills to then combine that with money and then to successfully own and operate properties so that you can be financially free. That makes sense? It goes active income, right? Develop enough of that and the right skills, and then decide, are you going to go passive investing or active investing? I've got ways to support you and help you and educate you guys through all of that stuff. Okay? This is fundamental though. People make real estate investing more complicated than it is. And it's true, it is difficult, but at the end of the day, it's deals, money, combine those two, you own an asset, you operate successfully, you have cash flow, you have build wealth through real estate. You do that enough times, and you're financially free and have massive amounts of wealth, right? You end up in my shoes, or, the mentors above me, whatever your goals are, or below, whatever your goals are. You're just combining these two things, doing so successfully enough times to get whatever your goals are. So how's this bridge into the next thing? Well, I mentioned that's why I provide so much free value to bird dogs and to people trying to develop active income, because this is the best, least risk way to do it. And you're not really jeopardizing anyone. I could teach you guys how to capital connect, raise money for other people's deals, but it's not just finding the money for those deals. It's also trusting and verifying that the buyer, the operator that you're working with, is not going to take advantage of people. I have previously partnered with people who were supposed to do the deal and or the operations, and they did not do a very good job, unfortunately. I help raise the money. They have some track record, even those guys contractually obligated, and they do not perform the way that they're supposed to. They do not operate as successfully as they're supposed to. And who's that hurt? The capital partners. So what do? We kick them out. We kick the person out who messed everything up and didn't ask for help early enough. We take over the operations. We do all of the work now. We take care of everyone. If I need to put my own money in to solve some temporary problems, I will, because my goal is to always take care of the people that I work with. It doesn't mean it's always going to be perfect, but that's why it's so important that if you're buying and holding real estate, you have your own money. That's why I primarily teach capital raising to people who already have tens of thousands, if not $100,000+, because it's not about using that money to buy real estate. It's about having that money as a safety net if and when something goes wrong in real estate investing. We have a foundation repair that needs $40,000. I own 60%. My partners own 40%. I have to put in $25,000 to fix that. Otherwise, if I didn't have that money, who would have to do it? My capital partners. Well, that's not fair. I own 60%. They own 40%. They're going to put 100% of this extra money that's needed. That's not fair. But if they don't, the house is eventually going to collapse and everyone loses everything. That's why it's so important. If you are raising money, you have a good heart. You want to take care of people. You want to be transparent. You want to communicate effectively. As soon as you know things, you want to provide solutions. You want to do all that. Does it mean you're going to be perfect all the time? No. But the number one way to solve most problems is money. Have money to solve problems, especially temporarily in real estate. And that's a lot harder when you don't have money and trying to raise money. Does that mean you shouldn't? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you shouldn't raise money if you don't have money. Someone else can primarily teach you that. And for those of you guys in Sub 2, you're welcome. I did a whole capital raising semester in Sub 2, and they'll probably do 201 and 301 at some point in the future. So it's available to you, but understand why I think it's so important that you have money before you raise money. So use the bird dog, use the active income. Don't try to get from A to Z right away, or like A to D right away. Develop the skills, develop the savings, and then bridge the gap, right? You got the deals. Now worry about the capital raising once you have some of those savings and knowledge. Then worry about partnering with someone who can raise capital and you get the deals, whatever. There's a variety of ways to do it. I'm just saying this is why I primarily focus on educating the deal stuff to you guys through bird dogging, so you can make active income, earn and learn how to be the type of buyer that you want to be. Learn from the person doing the thing that you want to do. A lot of you guys want to work for me. I love it. I got you. Got a whole free course on that. Literally, I've got entirely, oh, it's not showing this. I got a whole free, like I said, the real estate roadmap community. It's all there. I got a whole free course for you guys on how to, so this is like my view, right? My view is different than your view, but on how to bird dog, how to learn and earn. And if you want to do it the way that I do it for co-living investors, great. You get a bunch of free trainings on how all this stuff works. What is the buy box? Where are the tools to analyze deals? Where are the, what tools and resources do you have available to you? How do you submit those deals? On top of that, there's over 2,000 members in there. You can find your buyers. You can find your cap partners. You can find all those people in there. I'm dropping this link one more time and I'm moving on from this topic because I've got something else I want to go over. One more time. If you missed it, you missed it. I got, you know, I only post something so many times. Great. All right. So do you understand why I provide you guys so much free value and education on deals and how to get those deals and develop your active income? And I don't want you to spend money and I don't want you to take unnecessary risk and spend money you don't have and get into debt for education that I literally give you guys for free. And most importantly, I'm not just giving you education that solely benefits me. I can only buy 1 to 3 properties a month because I know my operational limitations. If I buy more than that, it puts a strain on my operations. It means that it takes longer for us to renovate, to furnish, and all that stuff because I'm raising money. I want to be a good steward of my capital partners' funds. If it takes me longer when I'm doing more deals, that's not being a good steward of their money. So I limit the amount of deals that we buy every single freaking month. Okay, because we have no shortage of deals or money to buy more properties, but my operations where I limit because I don't also want to hire more people in my real estate business because buying 20 to 30 properties a year is insane and amazing. I already have a lot of real estate. Buying another couple dozen a year is already insane. Could I add another employee and all that stuff? Sure, maybe. I got 2 kids under 2. It's not my priority right now. I want to spend more time with them is the main goal. And I can always change my mind and restart and buy, hire someone else in 6 months and do double or whatever. Does that make sense? Right? That's where I'm at right now. Even if I tried to buy all the deals from the bird dogs, right? It's like, well, Michael, why do you do that? So I can buy more deals from you guys? Well, that'd be the best case scenario for you because you get paid when people buy your deals, but I can only buy so many. That's why I created all the free community, the education, the tools and resources, why I train buyers in the co-living freedom community, why I train capital raisers and buyers and all that good stuff in super investors so they can buy your deals and you guys can partner, you guys can do more together. So instead of only being able to help 2 or 3 bird dogs, I can help hundreds of you guys make money, learn, earn, and then partner with people doing what you want to do. I don't want to buy in Philadelphia. I don't know how many people this week asked me to look at a deal in Philadelphia. I'm like, great. I don't want to do that, but I know like 10 people that do. That's the person you should be working with, not me who's only buying in our core markets. All right. That's why I educate so many of you guys. And that's why I'm trying to get you guys to earn money without spending money, learn the skills so you can take your next level in the real estate freedom roadmap. All right. I'm not going to get too far into this, but if you are buying real estate, right? If you're buying real estate, you will have kind of 3 core buckets and 6 sub buckets, whatever, of buying deals. You can either do your own direct marketing, right? This is what people talk about. Like, hey, I'm going to go talk to agents and find deals on market, right? That's the common one. That's what wholesalers do. Or I'm going to go directly to sellers. This is essentially what wholesalers do, but you can do that for yourself to acquire your own deals. These tend to be the best deals, but they also require the most effort. You can joint venture or do referrals. So instead of directly targeting one agent for one deal or one seller for one deal, you can help newer investors who have already talked to a seller agent but can't get over the finish line. So you have skills, you're providing them value. And in theory, you can buy that deal at a discount. You're doing half the work. They're doing half the work. You can buy it for half the cost, right? Or you can get deals before it's without all of the work of this. Because this is the direct inputs needed, the direct marketing, the hundreds or thousands of people you got to talk to before you find a few that are motivated is the hardest part. So if a newer investor does that and you have the skills to get over the finish line, well, that's JVing. They can bring you multiple of those or repeat agent relationships. So I'm not just buying a deal. When I call an agent to directly acquire a deal, I'm not trying to buy that one deal only. If I buy that deal or not, I don't really care. I'm trying to build a relationship with that agent so they can do multiple deals in that market and train them on what I'm looking for so they can do more. In that scenario, right, these in theory are going to be worse deals, even if, because assuming it's the exact same deal. Well, if you're doing the direct acquisitions, right, you're not paying an assignment fee. Here, you're paying like half the amount that you would otherwise, right? But it's also significantly less work. And then the worst deals and the least effort, my actual favorite bucket, are buying deals already under contract. I would prefer to buy deals from wholesalers and renegotiate them and make them better if I need to, so I don't have to do all of this unnecessary work, because I can take these deals and make them great and or just buy them with less effort, meaning I can buy more. There's only so much you can do. In reality, you only have so much time in a day. And if you're like me, when you started out, or, when I was starting out, I was working a full-time job between the military and the government. After, I only had a few hours a day tops, right? Maybe 10, 15 hours a week tops to focus on my real estate investing business. And that was before kids. So you have to be very efficient with your time. Are you going to say, hey, I'll pay a bird dog an extra 10 or a wholesaler an extra 10K because they're going to do all this work for me, or add another 2K for a bird dog who's going to do more work, right? They're going to filter it, make it more clean for me. Like, not just get the deals, but then make sure it fits my buy box, and then pay them for that. That means I can buy more deals with less effort, even though I have to pay more money. Yeah, that's really important if you're trying to scale. You can't really scale very well if you're doing all your own direct acquisitions. The best real estate investors, and I can say this for a fact because I'm at Squad Up, I'm at Owners Club, I'm at all these mentorships and all these big things, big communities, masterminds. Literally, the educators, the leaders of these communities are doing this. They teach people to do this, teach people to do this, so they can, just like I'm doing, to help you guys earn money, trade your hustle, trade your time to develop skills and earn money, to then bring deals that the people at the highest levels can buy more scalably. Does that make sense? And it's not inherently wrong. All it is a trade-off, right? What a bird dog needs is skills and money, and what I need is less effort, more scalable deal flow. It's a trade-off. I'm paying them money to bring me those deals, and they're learning throughout that process, and I'm getting to save a lot of time by paying that money and helping someone. Does that make sense? That's the beauty of when you think of real estate as not just a solo sport, but you start combining and understand we're all doing this together. Everyone's benefiting from it. We're all collaborating in a certain sense. We're all trading resources, whatever we have. Some people have more time. Some people have more money. Some people have more experience, whatever that looks like, right? That's the whole point. So that's why I choose, and the most successful real estate investors are not buying deals this way. They're helping people generate deals like this and paying them and helping them get educated so that they can buy more deals with less effort this way. Wholesalers and bird dogs. Do you see how the ecosystem works together so beautifully? Do you see that? I hope you see that. So then, if this is your goal, this is different because I'm talking to lots of audiences. A lot of you guys are here to bird dog and make active income. A lot of you guys are here to buy real estate and be the owner of these. A lot of you guys are looking to buy real estate and do super investing, right? Super investing is not just buying real estate like this. Super investing is high leverage. It means getting your deals like this because you can buy more of them, and typically you can structure it so it's more in your buy box. Creative finance in the markets that you want to invest in, all that stuff. It's super because it's leveraged, right? You're not just spending all the time and energy one for one finding deals. You're leveraging relationships, knowledge, skills, and money to be able to buy more deals with less effort. That makes it super. Capital raising, right? Well, raising money. You can either use your own money or raise money to buy real estate. Well, super investing is leverage. You're leveraging the hard work others are doing to earn and save money and providing them a great investment opportunity for that work that they've done by letting them into your deals and or providing them fixed interest rate returns. Does that make sense? Leverage. I give a perfect example of this. I've never made $150,000 a year, not through the W-2 or anything like that. Yes, a lot of you guys saw me win the $5 million revenue award and all that. Yeah, I make a lot of money now and I have a lot of real estate income. That's revenue, not profits, but revenue. I'm trying to say is through the W-2 world, I never made over $150,000 a year. Well, I've built a over $25 million portfolio. We really don't even share numbers above that at this point because there's no point of it. And we've raised over $6 million to buy that portfolio of $25 million. Well, assuming I earned $150,000 a year, saved every single penny, I would have to have done that every single year for 40 straight years to have $6 million to buy the portfolio I have today that was done in less than 5 years. Does that put into perspective a little bit? If I used only my own money to build the exact portfolio I have now, and I earned more money than I ever did, $150,000 a year, and I saved every penny of that, it would have taken me 40 straight years of earning and saving every penny to have $6 million to build the portfolio that I have today. I was able to condense that through leverage, super investing, leverage. I provide others great investment opportunities in exchange for the money that they're bringing into the deals. They get ownership with me or they get fixed interest rate return on their money. Super investor. leverage. Same with deals. That's why you would say, why would someone pay more for a deal they could have done themselves? Well, because the less effort and the leverage allows you to buy more deals and help a lot of other people out in this, right? The person who I'm paying $10,000, $5,000, $20,000, a lot of the times that money is life-changing for them and they don't have all the skills yet to combine all of these things, but they do have the skills to find that deal, structure it, filter from my buy box like a bird dog would, and get paid for that. So they learn and earn along that way until they can combine all these together. Make sense? All right. So how does that lead into something really impressive that we're doing tonight? So, I do lots of free trainings. I did the co-living 3-day challenge. I do the, super investor webinar. Sometimes I piece it up and focus on one topic. Sometimes it's all of it. Sometimes I do multi-hour co-living trainings. I've done co-living workshops. I don't really know. I provide you guys what you ask me for, and I try to provide you all that as much as I can. But let me grab this. If you are available tonight, it's an exclusive call tonight. Everyone's welcome to it. 4 p.m. PST. What are we going to talk about? We're going to be breaking down the absolute next massive wave of real estate investing, primarily on the buyer side and the bird dog side. People who have deals and want to get paid, people who want to buy and hold deals, whether they're using their own money or other people's money. So literally anyone that wants to do real estate investing to make active income or to buy and hold real estate, right? It's going to be there. We'll figure out how we take care of our capital partners later. We got a pretty good plan for that. But myself and a business partner are launching something amazing. A lot of you guys have used a lot of my tools over and over again for deal analysis, for capital raising. I mean, a lot of you guys are going to be very familiar with this bad boy, with one of the best tools out there for real estate investing. That is right, the Super Real Estate Investment Calculator. It literally lets you, I'm going to go zoom out, so it's going to be very small, but it literally, let's go low. It literally lets you analyze deals, no matter how you're going to buy it, all in one calculator. Are you going to buy it hybrid creative, subject to, seller finance, mortgage method, traditional, cash, all of it in one freaking place, one powerful tool and resource. It lets you analyze, are you going to manage this thing as a long-term rental, a co-living, a rent by the room, a mid-term rental, a short-term rental, without a lot of redundancy of effort. All the work that you've done one time benefits all the work that's done here, right? And it just uses apply the specific management strategy stuff, and you can analyze all these deals at once. More importantly, if you're analyzing multiple strategies, it will quite literally tell you what is the best strategy. You can select that I want to do something different. It'll tell you what is the best strategy based on your analysis, and it will tell you things like, how could I renegotiate these deal terms depending on the strategy so that I can buy this, right? How can I make this a better deal? It'll automatically help you analyze that. For example, if this deal, let's go co-living, and let's say it's an extra $600. No, $600 of expense, no longer a deal. Well, if you were able to reduce the purchase price and the down payment 12.5%, now it's a good deal for cash flow and cash term. Or, well, this is mostly subject to, so this seller finance is not going to make a difference. But let's say it was, I'm destroying the actual calculator right now to do this example for you guys. This because I just faked that number, that's why it's wrong. It will say, for example, let's use that back to light, because this is still the same subject to payment amount. Set this to, maybe that's better. This is the problem with me, guys. I try to give you guys as much value as possible. And the hard part is sometimes I get into the weeds because a lot of you guys no one else provides you in the weeds. They're telling you to do something. They can't even validate or prove it, or they're successful in it. I'm trying to literally show you guys how you can think of it and do it yourself. And sometimes it means I got to get in the weeds and pause and caveat and say, hey, there's risk involved. Like, as opposed to trying to sell you something or make you do something, which is unnecessary risk for you, depending on where you're at. And it's not what you need right now. That's why I funnel the majority of you guys to all the free stuff to help you out. Some of you guys, co-living is the next main focus. Some of you guys like raising capital. You're ready. You're a successful real estate investor trying to scale with capital raising. You have $100,000 or more, and you might have less real estate experience. You can translate that instead of buying maybe one deal or the wrong deal. You translate that into your next 3 to 5 deals because of the strategies. All right. So in this scenario, it was a no deal here because there's a lot more seller financing. Oh, because this is finite amount. Oh, because this is 6%. That's why. Oh, yeah, let's set it 6%. Let's see how this works. No deal. Is it close enough? No. All right, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to just make this, and that might solve it. Oh, it's already a great deal. My Lord, I'm getting too good at making stuff up. Oh, wait, this should be higher. And I'll explain what I just did here because I'm doing a lot of stuff. Anyone who's downloading the calculator, don't right now. This is the actual copy. I need to Control Z everything I just did. All right, so for example, 13% cash on cash return, $1,300 of cash flow. So it makes good sense for cash flow, but 13% cash on cash return was subject to loan at 3% and the seller finance at 6%, right? I need to create that scenario to show how can adjusting the seller finance terms make it a good deal now? Well, this will automatically tell you, hey, if you get the seller finance interest rate from 6% to 4.5% right here, now you're getting enough cash flow and you're achieving your cash on cash returns. Those automations are a big part of being able to scale as a real estate investor, as a buy and hold investor. Instead of having to manually tinker around like I just had to do, it'll just tell you what is the right thing. On top of that, when you have all this design together and you're like, hey, how should I acquire it? What happens if there's a balloon, right? In 5 years, well, am I going to have enough equity to do the refinance? What if I adjust the entry cost? What strategy should I do? What if I automatically renegotiated it? Just as importantly, what if I raise money for this and I offer these terms? What does that look like for me and the partner? The long-term analysis, all this other stuff, all these co-living cheat codes and renovation stuff and furnishing stuff, all these things, because these are the things I created in my own business, my own tools, my own resources to make real estate investing more scalable and accessible and combine that with the things I just talked about. Scalable growth and or getting you guys a lot of active income. So a lot of you guys know I have that amazing calculator I just showed you. And a lot of you guys have tried to use it and it's a little tough. I get it because it's comprehensive. It accounts for a lot of things. Well, what we've built and are going to be launching is basically that calculator with almost all the data that you used to have manually input, it'll automatically be done for you. All the analysis, all that other stuff will automatically be done for you. Everything. Is this a good deal for the strategy? You click a few things, you put a little bit of property information, and it's all done for you. So the analysis is going to be done instantly for you to make a decision and or should you renegotiate that to make that even better instantly. Because I understand the more efficient that you get with your deal analysis, the more efficiently you can say that is not a good deal or that is a good deal or how can I make that a better deal, the more time you have to then look at more and more deals. Well, for scaling or for some of you guys who are not as good at deal analysis, that is the benefit there. It will do all of that for you. Just as importantly, that's for my buyers, just as importantly, for my bird dogs and wholesalers, you get to submit your deals into one platform that then broadcasts it to all the buyers on that platform and then matches it to their buy box. So if someone says, I want to buy in Georgia, 4-bed, 3-bath, yada, yada, creative only, that's in there. You submit a deal, instead of having to work with all these individual buyers, it'll automatically match those. You can share it individually too. But if you can broadcast it to all those buyers whose buy box it hits, because you make money by selling those deals, bird dogging those deals, someone has to buy it. It will do all that extra work for you. Why? Because that's not really the skill you need to develop. Your skill you need to develop is finding these opportunities, knowing what's a good fit, and then providing the right information, and then it'll broadcast all the buyers that are available. Same with the analysis. Well, then once that's done, the buyers on the platform can get instant analysis. So not only was it filtered based on their buy box, it'll also analyze it and say, hey, are these the terms that make sense for me? Could we make this a better deal? Is this a bad deal? Like all that stuff. You decide that you're going to buy it with a click of a button. You say, yes, that is the deal I want to get. I want to pay this guy. I want to buy that deal from them. I want to buy it based on his analysis and or your own manual, adjustments to the analysis. Hey, then let's get our capital raising presentation put together. I want to raise money for this deal. Well, it's going to automatically convert that into a pitch deck for raising money. It's going to connect to the Super Investor CRM that each Super Investor has to then be able to broadcast that pitch deck with all the deal information automatically done to all the capital partners that you've connected with over time. It's going to take real estate investing and take it, just like I've done over the last several years before AI, leveraging tools, resources, spreadsheets, CRMs, and all that to make the process way faster and way better. That is how I've been able to grow the way that I have, through leverage. Well, leverage is not just the deals, the money, there's the operations, right? And the operations are a lot of things. The faster you can raise money, the faster you can get your pitch deck, the faster you can analyze a deal, faster you can filter it, the faster you can connect the deal and the info to the money to the account partners, all that stuff, like the pitch deck to the account partners, the faster and better it is for you to be able to scale your portfolio with less busy work. No, I mean, I used to think it was a badge of honor for doing all this extra busy work to get this deal. Well, in reality, what matters is that I'm finding the right deal, I'm raising the right money the right way, and I'm operating them successfully. Everything else that is friction is noise. It's not benefiting you, it's just work you have to do to get it done. Well, before AI, before a lot of these tools, before all these integrations, and it's not all perfect yet, it's further getting built out, but before all these integrations, this would take, I mean, I can't even verbalize. I can't even verbalize. So it's like, why would someone, right? Like, and I have something for people, at least for my super investors, we go over this exact training, but oops, share screen. Why would someone pay these guys to buy their deals, right? To buy their deals that they could have done themselves? Because the cost of paying these guys for all their hard work is worth it. Because by the time this wholesaler has this one deal that's worth you buying, at this point, they've had to talk to hundreds of sellers to get the few that are motivated. Those that actually, let me see if I have the, oh, bro. Let me see if I can get it. Actually, I'm going to give you guys something powerful. I've never shared this outside of the super investor community because it's not for most people. But I want you guys to learn and understand. So I got to go to my drive. Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this. You know me, I just freestyle. I'm going to answer all the questions that are here because they're actually all perfectly relevant, which is amazing. There we go. All right. Zoom in, and then I'm going to screen share right now. I'm going to hide a lot of this stuff because it's extra. All right. And these are not 100% accurate numbers. Understand that, because every person is different, because every wholesaler who's better or has better lists is going to require less effort. If you're much worse, right, and you are talking to the wrong people, or you can't close them the same and like get those deals in contract, that's going to take you more, right? But there's a rough assumption of KPI. So why would I and a lot of the biggest real estate investors do this, even though they can save some money by doing this directly themselves? This is why. Leverage. I get to provide someone who needs exactly what they want, which is money, active income, and skill development, mentorship, whatever you want to call it, education. And I pay them so that I can then buy more properties than I would otherwise be able to if I did all my own direct acquisitions. Does that make sense? And how does that translate roughly into numbers? Well, if I was a wholesaler at the very top and I'm reaching out to sellers, let's say you have 256 sellers they reach out to, and you're filtering based on motivation. Do they actually want to sell this thing? Well, 50% of those are not actually going to want to sell it. So then now you have 128 where your job is to find if they're a motivated seller. If they're a motivated seller, right, they have motivation, you found them, they're motivated, so half of them roughly, right? The better your list is, the higher the conversion rate. The better, the more, like if you're finding people who are way more motivated up front, you're finding the right list and targeting the right motivations, this is going to be higher. If you're targeting the wrong people, it's going to be way lower, right? Then you find the motivated sellers, say half, then you got to negotiate with them. And I'm being very generous and saying 50% of those you're going to be able to put under contract. The better you're at closing and negotiating, the higher this is. The worse you are at that, the lower the conversion rate is. So that means there's less that trickles down. Well, then you have these deals, right, already under contract. You're reviewing these leads, right? So you're reviewing the leads to see, does it meet your buy box? So just because someone has a deal under contract, well, if it's not for example, just say my buy box is Georgia, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet or more. If it's not that, well, half those deals under contract or whatever are not going to fit my buy box. Well, a bird dog, they're taking these deals under contract. And they're filtering it based on your buy box as the buyer. That's how they're saving you time. So of the 50% of that was the 128, only 64 of those are what's left over that you put under contract. And then you're referencing your buy box. Is it Georgia, right? Most of them are going to filter out. It's not Georgia. It's not this property size. It's not creative finance only. So only 25% of those can convert. So then you analyze those deals that fit your buy box, right? So there's 16 that have fit your external buy box, right? Right market, right property size, no HOAs, creative finance. Well, then those are the 16 you analyze. You analyze those 16 and you compare it to your internal buy box. That is, does it hit the returns that I'm looking for? Is it enough cash on cash return, enough cash flow? Only 25% of those, if that, will pan out. And then you will, when those pan out, you submit offers and or you have to negotiate them to improve them. So of those 4, you submit an offer to buy it or you have to negotiate to improve it. Well, 50% of those are going to get accepted because you're too slow or they won't accept your negotiations. So you have of that 50% are the 2 that are under contract now. Then you do due diligence, you do your inspection, you get, your insurance quote, your renovation quote, all those things. And then one of those is not going to pan out because the renovations cost more or something you didn't know occurred or the insurance was higher than you projected or whatever. So only one of those end up being the one that you buy. So why would someone pay $10,000 here, another couple grand here to buy these deals? Because if you're buying real estate, you should be buying real estate that hits your internal extra buy box. It hits your property characteristics, the market, the location, right? The no HOAs, creative finance, property size, whatever. I'm paying a wholesaler to do all this work, to talk to 256 people, to then have 64 that I'm paying a bird dog to filter. So now I have 16 of those that already hit my buy box that I'm analyzing, right? That's what this is. Why? Because assuming you do that for every one of these deals, assuming these are your KPIs, these are the conversion rates, every deal that I buy, every time that I'm paying for someone to do all this work, I'm saving 80 hours. 80 hours went into all this for me to buy this one deal. I don't mind paying $10,000 or whatever for that work, which translates to a nice income for most people. Most people are not making $10,000 on one thing or $125 an hour. I don't mind paying someone $125 an hour or $10,000 per deal or whatever, right? You just adjust the numbers for them doing all this work. So then I can find 2 or 3 of these instead of having to do all this work. I'm analyzing 16. Right, they're doing all this. I'm analyzing 16 to buy 1, 32 to buy 2, 48 to buy 3, because there's only so much time in a day. I'd rather use that same 80 hours instead of doing all this. I'd rather spend that to analyzing deals and choosing the ones I want to buy. And that's how it's done. Well, the thing is, what we're going to present later today is going to show you a way to make all of this more efficient. If you are a bird dog, you put it in front of as many buyers whose buy box you match with instantly, right? You have all these deals, but you need to connect to the right buyer. Great. You're going to have an ability to present it to all the buyers whose buy box had already automatically matched with. And if you are a buyer, you're not going to have to struggle with learning how to find wholesalers who have the deals and filter and all that stuff, because all this stuff still takes time too. We're going to get all this done automatically for you and then even help you analyze those deals almost instantly to then say, do I want to buy that deal? This is the next wave of real estate investing. I've done as much as I possibly can to systematize and improve and scale the ability to buy and hold real estate, which is why I've been able to grow my portfolio faster than the vast majority of people who started at the same time frame as I have, because it's all about understanding this and realizing you only have so much time in a day. What is the most important thing for you to do? What is the most important things for you to leverage? And as a super investor, let's find great deals that fit our buy box, that are easier to analyze. Instead of earning our way to working a job and making a bunch of money and saving it and then investing into real estate, like the example I gave you, let's raise money and provide someone great investment opportunities with these great deals and operate them successfully as you possibly can. So you provide them a great investment opportunity. That is the most efficient leverage route. Then you got to go all in on operations to make sure you're taking care of everyone. The deal is actually, because the deal could be great, but if you don't operate successfully, it means nothing. The capital who funded this deal, now you have a property, like I said, that's just you own real estate. That doesn't mean anything. You're not a real estate investor. So you operate successfully and consistently, they're getting cash flow. You're making more money than you're spending. You're getting cash flow. Then you are, over time, building that massive wealth through debt pay down, appreciation, all that. You stack enough of those, you are financially free through real estate. You have 5, 10, 20 plus $1,000 of cash flow every single month coming in, which is the whole goal. That's the real estate freedom roadmap. Develop the skills, learn as much as possible from the buyers that you want to be more like, make money during that process, translate to being the one to then do this full thing. And if some of you guys are already starting out with more money or more experience, I teach you and show you how to raise money, to find higher leverage deals, operate them successfully so that you can actually grow and scale the right way. Not like you've seen a lot of people grow. They end up buying a lot of deals, using other people's money, buy a lot of creative deals, which is easy. There's no short. I could go buy 50 this month if I chose to. I could not successfully operate 50, which is why we don't. Very easy to buy creative deals. Very easy to raise money from people, unfortunately, who don't know what they're doing, who don't do enough due diligence to then fund those deals. Then you cannot operate them successfully. You've lost everything for everyone. You've wasted your own time and energy, which is the most important part. You've screwed over the seller willing to sell creatively, and most importantly, you've wasted the trust, the money, the confidence, all of that of the person who earned for years, for decades plus, to save that money, to partner with you for a great investment opportunity. You screw them over. So a lot of people combine deals with money, and a lot of those guys who have surpassed me over the last several years, a lot of those guys have fallen down and crashed because they cannot operate the way is necessary for the amount of deals they're buying. I intentionally choose to limit the amount of deals that I buy because it's more important to operate successfully and actually have cash from the properties that you're buying and build wealth from the properties that you're buying than buy a bunch of deals that you end up losing anyway. Well, the next wave in the way I've been able to help lots of people, whether it's for free in Real Estate Freedom Roadmap, the co-living education community to help you with operations and get better deals, or Super Investors, which helps you leverage all three of these already with all the tools, resources, and all that. Well, the next wave is implementing a lot more automation, even more automation than already exists with what we already provide to people. And that's going to be, let's get you deals. Let's make the deals easier for wholesalers and bird dogs to match up with the right people based on their buy box. On top of that, let's analyze those deals for the buyers. Let's help with automating a lot of that. Pull all the numbers they're going to pull anyway, fill it up, do the analysis, allow them to more quickly and easily do the final piece of analysis, choose the amount of capital they're going to raise, structure it the right way, put that into the cap raising presentations automatically, leverage that to then push out in their CRM with the capital they're raising, and then get those deals funded almost instantly. And then all you focus on is operating successfully. The automations here are going to be unreal. We're going to be showing a lot more of that this evening. If you want to take advantage of that, and you guys know, unfortunately, if you want me to sell you something right away and all that, I don't do that. I spend a lot of time and energy providing education and value first and foremost for anyone that's joining. It's going to be similar to this to an extent, but provide a lot of education for you all so you can, no matter what, if you can't afford to join something, I don't want you to. Save your money, develop skills, earn more money, then join when it's the right time. What I want to do is provide lots of value to everyone and show you where you fit into this full system so you can earn, right? Develop skills, buy deals, buy better deals more efficiently, creatively, raise all that. Wherever you fit in, I want to plug you into the right place. For those of you who are ready for the next level, I want to provide that to you all. But the majority of you guys may or may not be in the right position, and that's okay. I want you to still get a lot of value. Sign up for this if you are interested in. I'm going to drop the link one more time. You're more than welcome to sign up for this training. We're going live one time today. Everyone who's a super investor, you're already going to get all these benefits. You guys already know I take care of my super investors. So if you are already a super investor and you've already joined me, you're one of the founding members right all the way up until this point, you're going to benefit from all this stuff as well. Just like anyone new that's joining. I never add more without giving you guys access to it. So you guys will already get that. I see some super investors in here. You're going to get you're going to get a massive upgrade. All the visions of making it even more efficient is how this is going to work, because it took the right amount of AI and the right software, the right technology to be able to combine it. So it's not a net negative. There's no point of telling bird dogs and wholesalers we're going to get their, they're going to be able to sell their deals through this if that doesn't actually work out. Or buyers, hey, you're going to get a bunch of deals through this, or you can automate a lot of this stuff for you if that doesn't really work out. I'd rather get mostly all of it ready to go, ramped up like we have, and get it ready for you guys to actually utilize and implement immediately. And those of you who sign up earlier, the benefit is you get to be an early member, which means that you get to capitalize on all the initial deal flow before there's more and more people there, whatever. Take advantage of everything I got for you. Tons of value, tons of education. Please. So much free stuff, so much value. I'm here to help you guys any way that I can. And this is the next level of real estate investing. It's not just leverage the way I've been teaching at super investors. It's taking leverage and It's like, I don't know, 10xing it through automation, through automatic deal analysis. Well, first and foremost, automatic buy box filtering, right? Saving you not only time for all this stuff like I teach on super investors, and not only the time to help bird dogs by providing them income and education and getting them to filter the deals for you, right? That's their job. They're filtering the deals for you to make sure it's the right deal, or sometimes they're analyzing whatever as well. Well, it's going to make it easier for wholesalers and bird dogs to find the right buyers who actually perform. It's going to make it easier to build those relationships with them, right? So they get paid more consistently with more buyers. It opens up the pool of people you can work with. For buyers, it helps you get all this done way more automatically, and then also analyze those deals for you, with you, for you, whatever. Like, don't only ever rely on automations, but it will do virtually all of it for you. Decide you want to buy the deal, great. All of that, there's going to be so many automations that interject into everything we're doing super investors to make it, take you to the next level and really get that leverage deal flow and that leverage capital raising. It's unreal. And I'm so excited for this next wave. And unfortunately, those who cannot leverage it, don't get me wrong. I bought a lot of real estate the way that I've done. And then I made it even better through super investing. And I'm going to make it even better and faster through this. It's going to be tougher if you're not part of this. Quite honestly, I'm not saying that for any urgency or whatever. I'm going to help you guys succeed or perform any way that you can, whatever makes the most sense for you. But understand this level of leverage, just like super investors, what they have, but to non-super investors, that level of leverage, who have access to this stuff, compared to those who don't, it's just going to be way easier and better and faster for them to own real estate. So that means the only way? Absolutely not. I started with house hacking, a small multifamily in my local market in Fairbanks, Alaska, and directly finding on my own deals. I did that multiple times in a row. I've done everything at this phase. I've done most things up to this point. And the whole reason why I continue to grow and succeed is I not only do the thing, I document it, I standardize it, I improve it, I do it, I improve it, I develop different tools, all these different things to make it better, faster, stronger. I'm just kidding. I guess bigger, faster, strong, whatever. It's like, that's the way I operate. That's the engineer in me. What is the goal? Here's where I'm at. Let's do the thing. Okay, well, I've done the thing. How can I make it better? Do the thing. How can I make it better? And this is the next wave of that. This is a year and a half, almost, a year and a half after launching Super Investors, this next wave is coming. And I'm so excited for those of you guys who get to benefit from it, take advantage of it. Those of you who cannot, not the end of the world. There's still so much free value in education, tools, and resources. Earn your money, earn your skills for free through the free education, tools, and resources I provide you. All right. Let me answer some of those questions. My man Vic is always supportive. Saw me up there with the $5 million award. Thank you, brother. Yeah. If I knew how they were reporting it, we would have probably had a bigger award, but it doesn't make a difference. Awards mean nothing, right? It's the quality of life that you enjoy, not the awards and recognition. I mean, it feels good temporarily, but it means nothing if you're not enjoying your life and the journey and all that. That's why I do all this. I care so much about helping you guys with the things that I struggled with when I started out. I don't talk about analysis paralysis and taking action and provide the step-by-step blueprint because I like never had to deal with it. I literally do that because I wasted. I spent 18 months inefficiently developing my skills before I had the confidence to buy and hold real estate. Well, I didn't even have the confidence. I gave myself an ultimatum to pull the trigger and to do it is how I was able to buy and hold my first deal. I had to force myself. Otherwise, I said, I'm going to stop pretending to be a real estate investor. It's not worth my time if I'm not buying deals. That's what I'm coming from, the things that I know that a lot of people are struggling with. I had to learn, hey, I need to buy these deals better through Creatively Finance because that's the way to buy great real estate investments without living in them like house hacking. I had to go to Creative. I learned I could only buy so many deals based on my own money. So I had to learn how to raise money. I then learned, because these were all bottlenecks that I faced. I learned, hey, you can buy a lot of real estate, but if you cannot successfully operate it, when we were doing 4 or 5 deals at one point in a single month, it's like, wow, that's too many deals. Where's our comfort zone? 3 max, 2 or 3 deals is the perfect cadence for us. Do that because we operate them. That is the goal. That is what we do. All this is lessons learned, creating tools, creating systems, creating processes to then make it easier and better for everyone. That's what I try to give you guys, everything that you need, and then help you for free as much as I possibly can, give you all the tools and resources to be able to make money, level up your skills. Then you got some extra money, $197 a month at that point. You're doing a few bird dog deals. $197 a month is a no-brainer considering the same thing as $10,000 or more elsewhere. And what they're teaching you is outdated, not actually working, way less support. We provide that on steroids for you all at the lowest possible cost. And then when you're good at finding those types of deals and you're ready to acquire them and you want to level up and raise money for those and or leverage the better systems, tools, and resources to make it all faster, quicker, all that good stuff so you can scale, right? Like it's like make active income, learn how to buy a deal or two, Learn how to buy a deal or two a month, right? Think about it from that perspective. For free, learn how to make money through this by finding great deals and through learning. Next level is, hey, I can afford $197 a month comfortably. I'm gonna learn how to buy a deal or two. Well, the next phase is, hey, I'm gonna learn how to buy and develop the systems that are needed to buy and hold 1 to 2 deals a month. That's that next level. That's that level up. And these tools are going to make it even more efficient for everyone. Cool. So Alexander, I already answered your question, brother. And I know you didn't know that because you asked this way earlier. What are the best ways to generate creative leads from creative wholesalers? So you can either leverage bird dogs who are already doing that work for you, right? They're finding the bird dogs or they're finding the deals, filtering them, and then providing them to you, or you are part of some of the best communities out there for creative deals. Sub 2 with Pace Morby, my mentor, his free group, if you can't afford to join that, right? Never pay for something you can't afford to join. The Real Estate Freedom Roadmap community, and then lots of Facebook groups and all that as well. So that is already more than enough deal flow for the majority of people to at least be able to find those deals, analyze them, and know what's a good fit, or if they need to find more. And then bird dogs help you level up because they're also not just you one-on-one finding deals. They're finding, like, if you can find 5, but they can find 5, and you have 3 bird dogs working for you, well, that's 15 more deal sources for you. Looking to gain understanding placing those under contract for bird dog wholesaling. We got it. That's a later question, but for bird dog, you're not putting under contract. You're working with the buyer to then connect the right deals to them, and then you're getting paid for connecting that. Wholesaling is different. You are putting deals under contract. I'm not here to teach wholesaling education. There's a lot of that already out there. I'm not going to teach it. Not that I haven't done dozens of wholesale deals. Wholesale and bird dog deals over 100, but that's a whole other thing. It's not just, hey, this is how you put under contract. There's a lot of skills and all the other stuff that I'm not able to teach you guys to do right now because I don't have the resources. I'm not going to answer it one-on-one individually because I don't have the courses and all that for you guys for free. Maybe in the future I will, right? We go bird dogs and then we go direct, but right now it doesn't make a lot of sense to stuck in finding gap fund for the next investments. Everyone wants to be in first position. It depends on what you mean, Zoe. Like gap funding because you're doing a fix and flip, so you need money for 6 months, or are you talking about like transaction funding like EMD? I don't know, but usually everyone wants to be in first position if you're doing a fix and flip or you're getting private money lenders. So there are private money lenders, maybe they charge you more or they need you to have more credibility or a better business plan to go in second position because if I'm doing creative financing, I'm not going to replace great creative financing terms because a lender wants to be in first position. I can't eliminate that. That's why I'm buying this deal. But they have to go in second position for this deal to work. But that's also why I educate on private money partnerships. How do you co-own investments with others so no one's in second position? We're both owners and the only debt is the great creative debt in first position. Does that make sense? You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. You're welcome so much. Yeah, so I'll drop the link to sign up for the webinar one final time. This is the webinar tonight. All super investors, you're going to get an email. And I'm going to post it. That's going to be our call today. It's going to be that because this just materialized through Squad Up, and it's so freaking exciting for everyone. I like can't even believe it. This is the next level. I just have to find the right person to do it with. For short term 3 to 6 months. Yeah, but Zoe, if you're buying home in real estate, you don't need money for 3 to 6 months unless you're doing a fix and flip or a burr, which is a whole strategy thing. Or if you're looking to buy and hold long term, you might. This is what I meant by this. That's what I meant by. Oh, let's move that. That's what I meant by this, right? Finding the right deals, structuring them the right way, making sure they're great deals, and the money. Well, the right amount of money, you know where it's going to be going. It's raised the right way. It's all of those things. It's not just, hey, this person has money, this person has a deal. No, you got to find the right deals. And you got to make sure it's in alignment with your buy box, what you're looking to accomplish. It's a great deal. It's structured well. The money, it's not just, hey, does someone have money? It's like, well, is this the right type of money I should be raising for the strategy that I'm doing, for the length that I'm trying to do it in, right? And the terms that I'm offering, all of that stuff. And then you combine that with Exxon operations, right? You combine these two, you do Exxon operations, you build cash flow. You build wealth. You become financially free. You have more money than your family could ever imagine. And I'm grateful. Coming from poverty to literally where I'm at now is mind-blowing. If you guys haven't had a chance, I will ask you guys, do me a favor. I don't ask you guys to do much because I give more away for free than anything else. But I'm going to ask you guys to do this. Please, if you're still here, go to my Instagram, please. Do me a favor. Go to my Instagram, Michael MNAT. I'll drop the link just like this. All right, go to my Instagram. Well, if you're watching live on my Instagram, or on my Instagram, go to this first post right here, this one, the new one. I did my first big podcast outside of the Sub 2 community, outside of my mentor, Pace Morby. please go to this post and give it some love. I want to show Mikey Taylor, the amazing, super successful real estate investor, amazing father, husband, amazing educator, amazing. He's a mayor of his town because he wants to make an impact. He like helps so many people. He does so many amazing things. I want to show him that I can help bring visibility to the stuff that we did in the podcasting. That will help me maybe be able to share my message to larger, bigger audiences as well. So if you could do me a single favor, if you're not following me, you're missing out on so many things. Oh, today only, this is going to be removed. This is because of Squad Up. I'm moving my Blink. This is my full contact card. One chance to take it. Otherwise, it's being removed. And you have to get it in person. Otherwise, I don't share my contact info. That's in person. I will keep this throughout the rest of the today, and then it'll be gone tomorrow because I can't have as many people texting me all the time that they do. I'll keep this up for one more day since it's there right now. Go to this. Do me a favor. Watch it. Watch it a few times if you have a chance. If you don't know, thank you, my friends. Like, comment, share, save. Anything you guys can do is just helpful. I appreciate you guys. You comment the word podcast, like some of these people did, and you're going to get access to the full podcast. Show love to that. That's all I'm asking for. Show love to the things so that other people can also benefit. And there's so much value. He literally said, I talk way too fast. So we're going to have to slow it down. But he literally said, this is the most value we've ever provided on a podcast. We talk about lots of different things. So I wish I can go deeper in certain things, but like we hit so many key core parts of my entire investing journey, all the skill development, all these things, ways to help you guys, whether it's co-living, capital raising, the way we buy deals, creative financing, my initial journey, the, bird dogs, wholesale, everything is in there. 1 hour, best 1 hour you're going to spend. If it's not, let me know, and let me know what I can improve. So don't just watch it. If you're watching it, please do me a favor. Let me know what I can improve. If you like it, show me some love, please. Appreciate you guys. All right. Thank you. Love you. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate, it's crazy to me that so many of you guys stay throughout the entire process. It's just like, I can't believe the position I'm in to help so many people. And you guys are the reason, you guys are the people I'm helping. So thank you. Appreciate you guys. I will see you next week. For a lot of you guys, I'll see you tonight. All right. Do not miss this opportunity. I'm dropping it one more time. Oops, that's my Instagram. Where's that other link? For the webinar tonight. And this is going to be literally insane. A lot of education. And then showing you guys what we're launching, and you guys get to see it in action. You guys get to see a deal analyzed within seconds. You get to see something that matches your buy box within seconds. That's going to integrate all the capital raising, all those other tools and resources to make it way faster and better. That piece isn't for everyone. You're not in that position yet, but understand what's possible, understand what you're going to work towards while earning money to develop skills to then be in that position in the near future.